Welcome to your weekly recap from your friends here at .LA. I'm Kelly O'Grady, .LA's chief host and correspondent. We love everything LA tech media and startup news here, so if you do too, you're in the right place. All right, another week of quarantine is behind us and LA is slowly starting to open back up. There may even be a drive-in movie in my future this weekend. I know, big plans, my friends. All right, so let's get to it. In the investing world, we're seeing some good trends for LA. A new study found that the activity in Q1 of 2020 was nearly double that of Q1 in 19. And further, the average size of a seed round is generally getting bigger. In the first quarter of this year, 19 LA startups raised seed rounds of more than $2.5 million, with the average seed round being around $4 million. Of course, the pandemic has caused some things to shift in recent quarters, but it still proves that the growth of the LA startup scene is undeniable. We also dropped a really unique series on diversity in the venture capital space this week. In the series, Ben Bergman and Rachel Urenga examine how venture capital became so homogenous and how Black VCs navigate an elite, often exclusionary world of venture capital. I'm going to be honest with you, the numbers are incredibly disheartening. Only 3% of investors at firms are Black, and most firms didn't respond to the survey, so the true number may be much smaller. In the series, leaders in the Black VC community shared personal stories of the challenges they've faced and the barriers to getting hired and getting funded. Many cited experiences where people immediately assumed they were in the wrong place or were playing a waitstaff role rather than that of an investor or founder. And while many VC funds recently took to social media in the wake of the protests to say they support diversity, concrete action has been less common. And speaking of concrete action, this week we hosted a roundtable discussion with Pledge LA on what organizations must do to ensure this moment of awareness around equity and inclusion doesn't go to waste. I was joined by Kobe Fuller of Upfront Ventures and Una King of Snap Inc. for an incredibly rich and action-oriented discussion on why the tech community needs to act now. This was honestly one of the most powerful interviews I've ever had the opportunity to do, so let's take a look at an excerpt now.
What are specific steps that you would take, as you were just saying, Kobe, to change the hearts and minds and prevent that non-inclusive environment?
Prioritizing Black voices in the boardroom, in the leadership positions, and across the organizations. It's not just the good thing to do. It's not just social justice. It's actually now business. This is actually the right thing to do from a business perspective. My phone's been ringing off the hook from leaders at other large corporations that frankly don't have a Black voice to actually listen to with regards to what's going on right now. So it's a problem where you have to ask your Black friend that has no economic interest in your business to save you. I mean, it's kind of like, it's been really crazy the last couple of weeks to see some of these circumstances actually play out. And I think it's one where people need to realize for this problem to really be solved, you have to solve it at all levels and look within with regards to not where you have Black voices, but where you don't, and fix it.
And giving people the skills they need to be able to be decent people in the workplace. And what I mean by decent is people that understand, especially people managers, what inclusive leadership requires. And secondly, to give them the ability to see inequity. Like what these last weeks have shown us is that people do not see the same thing. So when I say tools, I mean, there's a very specific framework around allyship. And the principle, the first and foremost one, is you need to be proximate. You need to understand what it actually is like to be the only woman engineer on your team, or the only African-American, or the only Hispanic, the only one. So to give people those skills, actual allyship training, and there are some great companies out there providing great expertise grounded in behavioral science.
Powerful stuff, right? If you want to watch the full interview, I've linked it below. The specific stories that both shared really hit home for me, and the advice was extremely specific and action-oriented, which I appreciated. This quote from the event sums it up well. The time for inaction is over. All right, on to the startup world. It's impossible to deny that the pandemic has left us all at home with very little to bring us joy other than delivery from our favorite restaurants. And because of that, third-party delivery services have been seeing a huge boom, but many apps are still losing money. Chow Now is taking advantage of that. The platform helps restaurants build out their own ordering platform for a flat monthly fee and offers online ordering for pickup and delivery through third parties. While many apps have been hurt by LA's recent decision to cap fees at 15% of the order, both Chow Now and restaurants benefit from the flat fee model. And on to big tech. Amazon, IBM, and Microsoft are coming under intense scrutiny for the facial recognition technology they sell to law enforcement. So much so that they've halted sales for the time being. But many don't think it's enough. LA Congressman Jimmy Gomez is calling these moves performative and is calling on Amazon specifically to provide detailed info about privacy and inherent bias in the program. He's also reportedly drafting legislation that would place restrictions on police from using the tech. For more on these stories from Rachel Uranga, check out our website. Now on to media. Quibi and TikTok made the news again this week. The short-form streaming service is continuing to struggle, whereas the social media phenom is reportedly raking in the dough. A new content service that launched recently, though, was Whatifi. It's a new choose-your-own-adventure type storytelling app that aims to appeal to younger crowds by combining quality content, interactivity, and socialization. What started as live-action theater in Estonia accompanied by shots, I am not kidding on that one, is now a mobile app that allows users to go back and have another go with the story. The two titles in the app have 80 different outcomes between them, and now Whatifi is looking for scripts for its upcoming pitch contest. For more on media from Sam Blake, check out our website. And finally, this week we released another episode of .LA Dives In. I had the opportunity to interview Amira Pollack, the CEO and founder of Struck Club, a fitness mobile app that provides instructors with structure via software that simplifies planning and coaching a workout class. While side gigging as a spin instructor herself while getting her MBA, Amira found herself spending hours prepping for her classes, where she was not only expected to play the role of instructor, but also DJ, choreographer, exercise scientist, and of course, we can't forget motivational guru. And so Struck Club was born. To check out the full interview, hit up the link below. All right, that wraps up our weekly recap. For more details on these stories, other news this week, and to learn more about the awesome events we're hosting, visit us on our website, sign up for our daily newsletter, and of course, follow us on Instagram so you don't miss our exclusive video content. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Kelly O'Grady for .LA.